Find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners. So when the average agent wins, everyone wins. That's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Hey, welcome everyone to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'm super excited to be having a conversation with one of my, I normally say business partners, and we really are kind of business partners. Susan McClain, network specialist. We talked before we started. Neither one of us know exactly what that means. But what's cool is everything that you do for us at eXp just brings a lot of value. And we'll share, I'll have you kind of share your background, but I know you've been in real estate for 19 years in the industry, been a managing broker, trainer, real estate coach, was part of a company of a top global brokerage, right? VP, not just part of a company, but VP of sales of a top global company. And we'll talk a little bit about what brought you to eXp, but welcome to my Financial Freedom Forever podcast, Susan.
Thanks, Andre. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about your real estate background, and then we'll kind of dig in from there.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, I've been in real estate for 19 years, which I cannot believe it's been that long. But I think everyone over 10 or 15 years says that, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But time goes fast, right? I actually kind of stumbled into real estate. I didn't plan on being in real estate as a career. Actually just got in to do some investing, and, lo and behold, 19 years later, here I am. But yeah, I started with a small company. I was brand new in my area when I got my license. So I didn't have any sphere of influence in this area. I knew I needed some help with, generating leads. So I joined a company that had, this was back in the early days of pay-per-click, right? So I joined a company that had pay-per-click leads. And I'm like, good, I need leads. I'm going with you. So I started there, and I started just getting really good at converting those internet leads. As I was, closing more and more of them, the owners of the company, they approached me one day and said, hey, you're good at, converting these internet leads. They were selling those internet leads to real estate agents and loan officers all around the United States and Canada. And they said, would you help coach some of our other clients on how you convert your leads? And I said, sure, I'll be happy to do that. So I started coaching those real estate agents and those loan officers on lead conversion, growing and managing a team, time management, right? Co-marketing, that kind of stuff. Right. And then at the same time, the owners of that company, they were also hiring a lot of brand new agents in the industry, brand new agents to that company. And they weren't training them though. So I went up to the owners one day and opened my mouth and said, hey, you're hiring all these brand new agents. You really need to train them. Like, it makes us look bad if you don't, and it's not fair. And they said, great idea, Susan. Why don't you train those agents? They had no training program. So I said, sure. That seems to be a recurring theme in my real estate career is sure. So developed a training program for them, started training those brand new agents. And I was coaching, training, and selling. And the owner of a large franchise in my market approached me and said, hey, I've got a small office that I want you to run. And I said, sure. So took over an office that had, I think, 12 agents the day I started. I let 3 of them go right away. So really started kind of with 9 agents, only like 4 of them maybe were selling anything. So I took over that office and grew it from basically 9 agents to 78.
Wow.
Our average per person productivity was 18. So that made us a top 20 office in the United States. And then, from there was approached to be vice president of sales for the franchise. So took that position. I said, sure, again, took that position, opened 3 new offices, started their commercial division, helped grow those offices to top 5, market share, commercial division to top 10 commercial division in the United States, worked our butts off, to get there. But it was a lot of fun doing that and starting something from scratch. I really didn't have much of a commercial background when I took that on. So again, sure, let's go down this path. It was needed. And from there, and how far do you want me to go? Do you want me to keep going? Should I stop?
No, that's great. I mean, it really shares the listeners, what your background is like and how what were the numbers? You went from 9 agents to how many?
78.
9 to 78.
Yeah, I grew to 78 agents.
And how many, what time span?
I was in that single office, I think, for 6 years before I actually took went to regional VP before I took the VP position. So I think 6 years is what I was doing, just running the one office as managing broker before I went to regional and then went to VP for my regional stint was very short lived before I took over the VP for the whole company. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. It's been good to get to know you a little bit better. I know you've helped us tremendously. First, I want to thank our listeners for jumping on today. Bobby and Chris, and reach out to Rachel, and thanks for jumping on. If you guys have any questions for Susan, put them in the chat box, and we'll throw up a QR code here once in a while. Definitely take a picture of that to learn more about what we're doing and how we're helping our teams grow. But Susan's been really instrumental in helping us really look at our entire organization. I mean, as of today, we have over, I think, 880 some business partners in 31 states, five provinces of Canada. We're even in Hawaii. It's pretty cool. Mexico and India as well. And I know, I was surprised. I mean, how many big, team members out there, and you're out there just busting your butt, selling houses and helping your company grow. And then someone from corporate just calls you up out of the blue to check on you to see how you're doing and what they can do to help you grow your business. And then have someone like yourself and with your background, and then immediately volunteer to meet with us, every couple of weeks to go through, all the different things that you can help us scale our business. Like we even had you on our training there last week for our 2023 business strategy review, and that was fantastic. And I'm just blown away by what the company does. Absolutely no extra cost, right? To pour into us agents, into us leaders. I've been a top producing agent at other companies in the past, and you're just usually a number, and there's some love there with family and friends and all that, but it's nothing like what you guys continue to do. So thanks for all that.
Yeah, no problem. I love what I do. I love the industry. Still wouldn't be in it after 19 years if I didn't, but I love, I love getting up every day and wondering, okay, who can I help today? How can I help them? And that's the same in, the real estate side, right? The sales side. That was always the questions I asked myself every day is who can I help today and how can I help them? And if you ask yourself those questions and you put, the other person first, then, it's the universal law of abundance, right? It comes back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's unpack, how did you make it to eXp? I mean, what position you were before, and what brought you over here?
Yeah. So after I left Century 21, and that's where I stopped, I felt like I was talking too much, so I stopped. So after I left Century 21, so we grew, commercial division, grew offices, and thought, okay, it's time for me. I was there 11 years and thought, okay, it's time for me to, to go a different route. So I actually, I gave 6 months notice. Don't do that ever. Don't give 6 months notice, but I gave 6 months notice and said, okay, I'm going to do my own thing. So, started my own, coaching company essentially. So I've got I'm a certified meditation teacher, background and, meditating and mindfulness. And, I thought I'm going to combine that with my sales experience and, just do my own coaching. So in January of 2020, I started that. So started doing, the coaching and training on that. And in March, obviously, 2020, COVID hit. So really completely changed everything about the business that I had planned. And then at the exact same time, actually, the end of March, my dad he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So I actually kind of dropped everything and, just spent the last few months with him. And, my mom, they just adopted a puppy. So, we got a new puppy basically, and, spent those last few months with him, and he passed away in July. And the day of his funeral, I got a call from Remax Integra, a great guy named Dan Bro at Remax. I love Dan. And he said, hey, we're looking for someone to do franchise sales. So director of sales, franchise sales, mergers, acquisitions for Remax Integra for the Midwest. So I took that position. Day of his funeral, I said, sure, why not, right? And was there, honestly, just 9 months. So was there doing the, franchise sales, mergers, acquisitions, and we were being recruited. My husband's also in real estate. He's got 28 years in the industry, very similar background to mine. We were being recruited to eXp, and he was offered a managing broker position for one of the states, Indiana, where we live. So he took that, and it was a great time for me to make that move and that transition. So I actually came over just as an agent. And my plan was to grow our own downline, help him run the state office. Started onboarding our agents and thought, gosh, I'd love to, dig a little deeper into this and how I can help this process and make it a little easier for our agents. Made some contacts at corporate, and I got a phone call one day. I don't remember who it was, but someone called and said, hey, there's a position. Would you like to, to talk about it? And I said, sure. Right. Put my corporate hat back on. I didn't have it off very long, so I still fit. And I came back over, took this position 7 months ago, I think, maybe something like that. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up at eXp. Didn't really plan on being back in corporate. But again, love what I do. So I'm super happy that everything kind of led me here.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you continue saying sure. And now I see why when I ask you for something, and I don't know if you know this or not, but when I need something and I'm not sure, where to ask. I mean, normally it's pretty easy if it's a broker issue or if it's, tech department or whatever, we know what department to go to. But if I'm not real sure and I need something quickly, I just message you, and you always get the information back to me pretty fast. Like you're saying sure before I even get the email out. So I really, and
a lot of times I don't know where to get it either, Andre, but I'm like, sure,
but you find it and you get it. That's right.
I can figure it out. I can do this.
And I'm sure we could figure it out maybe, but it's going to take me a couple of hours probably. So when the company just provides someone like yourself to us leaders, hey, if I'm not trying to figure that out for an hour or two, just get to the right person. And normally, like I said, you can get your questions answered pretty quickly, but if it's just something odd, you don't know where to start, we can be, doing what we're doing and helping the company grow and sell more houses and everybody wins. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
So let's, share a little bit with our listeners, some of the things that maybe you talked about on our 2023 business strategy. Maybe just a couple of minutes of what are the top things that you want to make sure that anyone listening, because we want to make sure all the real estate agents are out there, doesn't matter what companies that they're in. We want to help them grow because this industry is getting a little bit tougher, as the markets, go up and down, and we're going into a little bit of slower time. And we want to just give back.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So, when I do business planning, the first thing that I always start with, and it's something I've always started with is, been business planning with agents for decades. But, I always start with the why, because you have to get really, really strong and clear on why am I doing this every day? And when I did it for your group, we had an amazing volunteer, and I don't plan that. I always just say, hey, who wants to leave today with a business plan? And we had just a great guy who said, yeah, I'll be there. I'll help you. And, that was, I think his big takeaway is he wasn't really clear on his why necessarily. So once you get there, that's the first place I always, have you start. We didn't even go down into basically how to, help you identify that why, but, just getting clear with why you get up every single day and why you do what you do, so that when you have those hard days and you're making the calls and you're prospecting or you're attracting whatever it is, and you get, kind of beat down a little bit, we have to go back to that. But, but starting with the why, and then whenever I do a business planning session, we can't do an effective one unless we take a really, a hard look at where we're at today, right? Like the 2022, right? So we're in 2022 now. So taking that dive back into your 2022 and really helping to, say, am I satisfied, right? Did I hit my goals? Did I not hit my goals? And how strong is my business right now, so that I can make the appropriate adjustments going forward. So we take that, and then we really kind of go into that goal setting, and then we dissect the goals. We've got that strategic planning form that we went over, right?
Right.
It says, I've got my goal and I know what it is. And it's a SMART goal, right? It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, it's timely. And then what are all the different strategies that I can use to hit it? So that's, to me, the fun part of goal setting is to determine lots and lots of ways that we can hit that goal. Most agents, what they do is they come up with a goal and they say, okay, I've got a plan to get there. Got my plan, I'm done. But one plan doesn't cut it, right? Because roadblocks, fears, things pop up. And so we've got to have multiple strategies, multiple ways to hit that goal. And, we kind of dive into those strategies and think about the things that can stop us from hitting our goal, or what are those roadblocks? What are those considerations? What are those fears? And we map out our action plan. That's really fast, but essentially.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we started going through a lot of it with you. We just spent an hour, and then, we get busy. We'll put it aside, but I'm going to be digging back into it myself. I got some of it filled out, and it takes time. I mean, the hour with you is just kind of figuring it all out and knowing step by step. And you gave us that 9-page worksheet to work through it. And then it's just, thinking about some things, praying about some things, and then putting your plan together. So it takes a few hours afterwards to kind of map it all out. But that was very useful, and I'm looking forward to getting all mine completed. Hey, I'm going to throw up that QR code again. If anyone wants the actual copy of that recording, the hour recording, and the 9-page printout, just message me. You can message me here on Facebook, or just scan that code and send me a message, or even get in my calendar. My calendar's on there. Get on that calendar, and I'd be glad to do a working business planning session with anyone out there. If you're on my team or not, again, we're all in this business together, and when we help each other win, we all win.
Yeah.
So I guess let's unpack a little bit more of what are some of the things. I know what you're doing for me, and you can mention some of those things, but maybe some of the other leaders within the group. What are some other things that you've been doing to help other agents grow, and some of the things that you're doing for us?
What does my day look like, right? So essentially what my job is, and we talked about, my title, no one really knows exactly what it means, but essentially what I do is I help alphas and betas, right? Those like you with the large organizations at the company. I help alphas and betas essentially run an effective brokerage within a brokerage. So a lot of what I do, so it's basically 3 buckets, right? It's helping with attraction, increasing productivity, and increasing retention within your organization. I would say probably 90% of my time is spent on the second 2 buckets, that increasing productivity and retention. So I will work with the alphas and the betas, and we take deep dives into the stats of your business, right? So, production stats, and how long have your agents been on board, and who's potentially at risk. So I like to dive into numbers, which is kind of funny because on my disc, my C is like barely there, but right. I love going into the stats and the numbers. So I don't know what the disconnect is there with my personality profile, but we go into those stats and those numbers, and we really identify 2 areas. Number 1 is, what are the potential areas of risk within your organization, right? You're running a brokerage essentially. So what are the areas of risk we need to bring your attention to? And then what are some of the action steps, those action items that we can put into place based on the risks that we're identifying. And then we look at the areas of opportunity within your organization. So love the retention side, right? And so risk is very much tied to productivity, which is very much tied to retention, obviously. But, opportunity is tied to retention for the most part. So we retain agents by celebrating them, right?
Right.
Identifying them. I see you, great job on this. So we're now able, and this was a kind of a recent development since I took this position. And I'll tell you the quick backstory. So I took the job 7 months ago, probably. And I was told, okay, great. You're helping, alphas and betas run essentially their brokerage.
And anyone who doesn't know what alphas and betas is, a beta is a team member that has at least 200 agents in their entire organization with a certain amount of qualifications. And then alphas that have 1,000 agents or more. So they're, the top 1 or 2% of the company. So you're dealing with, people that are looking to really grow. And it's the same if you had a brokerage with only, 10 agents, it's still a lot of everything that you are doing is been very helpful. But I just wanted to point it out.
No, that's great. Yeah. So, I said, great, I'm helping them do this, but show me the stats, the numbers, the data that we give them to run their brokerage. And then I saw some disconnect there, right? So the very first thing I did was kind of dive in and say, okay, how can we provide them the data that they need? So we've worked really hard on that. And you've seen a piece of that, right? So, we've worked really hard to get the data that you need to run that brokerage. So we identify those opportunities, and the opportunities are, how can I celebrate my agents and their wins? Where do you as a leader, right? Where do you need to spend your time? And how do you effectively spend, even if you've got, 5 minutes between meetings, how can you do something really quick, right, to celebrate those agents and recognize the opportunities and then also mitigate the risks within your organization. So most of what I do is spent time with one-on-one or even in small groups with the alphas and those betas, right, those leaders, and helping them run those brokerages.
Well, I know it's been valuable to me, and I don't know if you saw it yet or not, but I scheduled another call, Zoom with you for Monday at 3 o'clock. That's why I was looking at my calendar. I'm going to have my wife, who takes care of all our onboarding and helping our agents, and my virtual assistants, because we want to kind of share how do you go over a little bit more details with some of that information and all the Google forms that you've shared with us. Got a few questions about it and how we can really dig into it to continue helping our agents grow and with retention and the whole thing. So looking forward to really utilizing those tools that you've given us and all the hard work that you put together so we can just bring our business to the next level. Once I get through my 2023 business goals, I'll have a clear exact plan of what we want to do and where we want to go. And having people like you and our, just being in the background, helping us lift us up is a big deal.
Yeah. So and I think, so I've got some exciting announcements, and maybe by Monday at 3, I'll be ready to make those. So just regarding the data, the metrics that we've been working so hard on. So I'm hoping to have some additional stats for you on Monday when we meet, so we can really take advantage of our time together and make the most of it. So one of my biggest pet peeves is wasting someone's time, right? So I always want to make sure that anytime I'm meeting with someone, I'm giving you actionable items and things that you can, very quickly say, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. And then we can map out the results from those actions. So.
That's awesome. Well, I know you're busy, so we'll kind of wrap things up, but if there's anything that you would like to share with a broker owner out there, or top team leader that's comfortable, they're 2023 was a good year and they're comfortable. You always like to stretch people to the next level, and they're probably not even thinking about even taking a look at eXp, or they've heard all about it and they think they know what it is. What would your advice be to someone like that?
I would say probably, start with yes, right? So we kind of joked earlier, like every job for the most part I've ever taken has been, hey, Susan, will you do this? Will you take a look at that? Sure. Right. So, and so many people start with no, right? Well, no, I can't because of this. No, I can't because of that. No, I'm happy. No, I'm comfortable. I'm this. And start with yes, and then see where that goes, because it's never done me wrong. And, when you start from yes and you have that open mind, then, you're only, gosh, I'm probably going to mess this quote up. So that it's the lifetime of the opportunity of a lifetime is only available during the lifetime of the opportunity. Did I say that right? Yeah. Right. So you've got the opportunity of a lifetime, but there's only a window that you can take advantage of that opportunity of a lifetime. So when you start with no, you're shortening that window. When you start with yes, you're saying how many things can I fit into the window. So I don't think I messed it up too bad, but I don't remember who said it. I wish I could give him credit. It wasn't me. But start with yes. And it just leads to some amazing places when you just come with an open mind. And that's probably the thing I would change. If I could change one thing in the world, it would probably be that. Just, start with yes, start with an open mind, no matter what you're doing, business, personal, your relationships, your family, your friends, just start with yes. But we all have to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna put that in my memory bank. Just for fun, I think I'm gonna start with sure.
Yeah, right. It's worked for me.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for your time today, Susan. I really appreciate it. Again, anyone want to jump on my calendar and learn more about why and how people like Susan is available here at our company to help us grow at no extra cost. We're glad to kind of share our story and help anyone do the same exact thing. Last question I always ask everyone, Susan, is if you're a movie watcher or if you're a book reader or both, what's the best movie or book that you like to suggest to everyone read or watch?
Book. I would say Success Principles, Jack Canfield. That's probably one of my favorites. And I read that for several years ago. I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe, I don't know. But it prompted me to go through the actual training with him and be the certified Success Principles trainer, right? And I don't do it. I don't train people for money or anything like that. I went and got the certification for me. But it was probably one of those books that changed my life.
It's awesome. We'll have to make sure to read that book.
Yes. Awesome. 66 Principles of Success. So it's not little, but it's worth it.
Awesome. Thanks again for your time, Susan. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you Monday.
All right. Thanks, Andre. Bye.
All right. Listen to what our partners are saying about our Financial Freedom Forever group.
What I love most about the Financial Freedom Forever group is the culture of helping and the amount of resources that are available out there for agents who want to grow their business. You can access 4 or 5 different training sessions per week. Is awesome.
I love FFF. Financial Freedom Forever is helping you to grow, all support and coaching and training me and my family. Now we have more time to spend together and make more money.
The thing I love most about the Financial Freedom Forever is the constant communication and support we get with each other.
I believe when you surround yourself with other like-minded people that are doing 5, 10, 20 times more than me and you put together, we all bring each other up in our lives and our businesses as well. To learn more on how to partner with us, go to partnerwithandre.com or scan this QR code and let's have a private conversation to see how we can grow our businesses together.